Good morning, I'm Pauline Verzosa. It is Tuesday, the 17th of February, and we're bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matter. Now let's get to the stories that matter today. Senate President pro tempore Ping Lacson has stressed that any ICC arrest warrant must pass through Philippine courts to uphold the 1987 Constitution. Meanwhile, Senator Risa Ontiveros backed the tradition of institutional courtesy, stating that no sitting lawmaker should be arrested within Senate premises while Congress is in session. Authorities have placed Senator Jinggoy Estrada on the immigration hold departure list over his alleged involvement in the Bulacan flood control scam. The precautionary order also covers former DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan and 3 other ex-officials as the DOJ continues its probe into the massive plunder allegations. And the world's oldest Chinatown came alive on Tuesday night or Monday night as the Chinese New Year celebrations reached their peak in Binondo, Manila. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. And now first on the agenda. Uncertainty remains over how the Senate will handle a possible ICC arrest warrant against Senators Bongo and Bato de la Rosa, who were both named as alleged co-perpetrators in the Duterte drug war. For now, there is no clear policy on how the chamber would respond if warrants are issued against the 2 sitting lawmakers. Senate President pro tempore Ping Lacson says Philippine laws and the Constitution will take precedence over any ICC warrant.
Sa ngayon, hindi pa naman natin alam kung ano yung lalamanin ng warrant of arrest kung sakali ma-issue, kung ano ba magiging parusa doon. Again, mananaig pa rin yung ating konstitusyon. Gagalang natin ang ating konstitusyon. Higit sa lahat, kaysa doon sa warrant of arrest na inisyu ng International Criminal Court.
Meanwhile, Senator Risa Ontiveros told Storycon that she is backing Senate President Tito Sotto's earlier position that senators should not be arrested while the Senate is in session, saying it has been customary for the chamber to refrain from serving arrest orders on sitting lawmakers during active sessions.
I stand with what Senate President Tito Sotto said before, that by tradition, while the Senate is in session, no members are arrested. So it's good that Sen Ping mentioned that we'll be meeting to talk this week.
Well, former Department of Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre II has dismissed allegations linking him to the Duterte administration's war on drugs, calling them completely false accusations. In an interview with One News's Storycon, Aguirre insisted that he was never involved in extrajudicial killings, nor in the so-called Davao Death Squad. Despite the allegations, Aguirre said he will not hide and will continue to assert his innocence. Aguirre was among those named by the International Criminal Court as alleged co-perpetrators in Duterte's drug war.
The ICC alleged that you were a part of a criminal structure and shared a common plan to neutralize alleged criminals back then. Can I have your reaction, please?
This is a completely false accusation. I didn't know that lawyering or practicing my profession as a lawyer in the Philippines would be a crime in The Hague. So, actually, and in the Philippines, it is an absolutely privileged communication, anything between a client and a lawyer. So why is it that I am, or that instance of lawyering or being a lawyer for Duterte be cited as one of my violations? Is it a crime in The Hague, but not in the Philippines? There's nothing in particular or in that incident which said what happened or what did I did wrong. I believe that by being a lawyer for Duterte would never be a crime, no, even in anywhere else. So why cite it? What did I do? I did not. I just lawyer for Duterte. I just give them advice. I've never been a member of the AJK, if there's such a thing. I've never member of the killing fields. I
Wala.
completely innocent of this war on drugs. Of course, I'm aware of it, but of course,
Yes.
that these criminals, these drug lords, would be eliminated also, or at least they would be. It will be stopped. Otherwise, without that, the Philippines could be worse than the Mexico or Colombia, for that matter. Actually, I'm not taking this case seriously that I was being charged before the ICC because I'm completely innocent. I don't know anything about this. That common invento lang nila yan para magkaroon ng kunwari conspiracy with us. Kasi without the Department of Justice, without the Secretary of Justice being part of the common plan, hindi credible yan. Kaya pilit nila akong kinasama. Ako lang nga, ang di yata taga Davao or not connected with the police dyan sa walong yan o sa walong co-perpetrators. Pero ang ibig sabihin ng co-perpetrators, kami ang co-conspirators. Ibig sabihin yan, ay kasama dyan sa pagplano niyan, sa pagpalaganap niyang extrajudicial killing niyan, which I completely deny because I have nothing to do with it. Going to face kung ano man yung didemandan sa akin. I will never hide. Nandito lang ako sa Metro Manila.
Malacañang says it will cooperate with Interpol if arrest warrants are issued against individuals named as co-perpetrators in the ICC drug war case. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro says authorities are ready to extend the same cooperation given when former President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested following the release of an international warrant. Castro clarified that there is no need to monitor the 8 named co-perpetrators for now, as no valid arrest warrants have been issued against them. She also urged those implicated not to go into hiding if they have no wrongdoing, saying they should face the legal process once warrants are served.
Kung kayo magtatago, ano bang ibig sabihin yan? Kayo ba'y may kasalanan? Tinatago nyo para hindi po kayo madinig at ma-escape kayo or ma-evade the liability of what you had done? So, hindi po kinakailangan magtago kung alam po nila na sila'y wala kasalanan, humarap sila at maging matapang sa mga maaaring proseso.
And in other news, the ombudsman said Curly Discaya may also be liable in the alleged irregular flood control project in Davao Occidental, in which his wife, Sara Discaya, has been charged with graft and malversation. Mobile journalist Arles de los Santos has this report.
It is not just the wife who might be liable, but may also be the husband. That is the possibility the Office of the Ombudsman is looking at after the Department of Public Works and Highways submitted a manifestation containing a list of high-profile individuals possibly involved in the flood control mess. According to Assistant Ombudsman Miko Clavano, the DPWH implicated contractor Pacifico Curly Discaya in the same case her wife Sara Discaya is facing over the alleged ghost flood control project in Davao Occidental worth 96.5 million pesos.
Nagkaroon po ng revelation dun sa mga affidavits ng iba't ibang tao na si Curly Discaya ang may beneficial ownership or nag-exercise po ng control dun sa mga kumpanya na sangkot dito sa Davao Occidental. When you say beneficial ownership po, kasama po yan lahat, no? Either they're the ones that sign on behalf of the corporations kahit wala po sila sa papel.
But Clavano admitted that it will be a challenge to prove the beneficial ownership since the information is not necessarily documented. He however assured that the Discaya patriarch will be given due process before the prosecution decides whether there is prima facie case with reasonable certainty of conviction. In the same press conference, Clavano argued that resigned Congressman Zaldico cannot seek remedy or relief from the court due to his unwillingness to cooperate, making him a full-blown fugitive. That is after Co filed a petition for certiorari in the Supreme Court asking to issue a TRO against the Ombudsman and the ICI after finding probable cause against him in an alleged substandard flood control project in Oriental Mindoro worth 289 million pesos. is still on the flood control mess. The Office of the Ombudsman believe that they followed all the necessary steps to ensure due process after the Sandigan Bayan granted former Senator Ramon Bong Revilla and the DPWH Bulacan official Juanito Mendoza to leave the court and file motion for reconsideration to the Office of the Ombudsman. That is to challenge their indictment in the alleged ghost flood control project in Pandi, Bulacan, worth 92.8 million pesos, citing lack of due process.
Kami, confident ho kami sa ginawa namin. Pinasagot ho namin siya. We gave them all the opportunities to raise their defenses. And to us, yun po yung due process. Hindi po namin alam kung ano definition nila.
The Ombudsman, though, are given 60 days to resolve the matter, but legal proceedings on Revilla's case shall proceed. Meanwhile, the Office of the Ombudsman, under the leadership of Boyeng Remulla, has acknowledged the over-promising and under-delivering in persecuting personalities involved in the flood control mess, and is shifting approach into under-promising and over-delivering.
Kumbaga, nung sinabi niya po yun, ang gusto niya talaga na mangyari yun. It's a hopeful wish na ngayon hindi nangyari. So what we want to do is to prove to the people na kahit hindi nangyari nung time na yon, we will get the job done and we will get the job done well.
Kapatid Arles de los Santos, we are One News.
Now, don't go away. We will be back with more stories right after this break. Keep it here on One News. Good morning, I'm Pauline Verzosa, and here on Morning Matters, we talk about the most pressing issues and we give you the context behind the headlines. Well, a court has issued a precautionary whole departure order against Senator Jinggoy Estrada and 4 others over alleged flood control anomalies. The Department of Justice says the Manila Regional Trial Court Branch 52 ordered authorities to prevent Estrada from leaving the country, along with former DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan, former Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, former Regional Director Gerard Opulencia, and former Bulacan District Engineer Henry Alcantara. The court cited probable cause that the respondents may attempt to leave the Philippines to evade arrest and prosecution in connection with plunder and related charges. The DOJ clarified that the precautionary whole departure order does not mean the plunder cases have already been resolved. And to help us unpack the legal and political implications of this development, we are now joined by political analyst and legal expert, Attorney Tony Viña. Good morning, Attorney, and welcome to Morning Matters.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
All right, so Attorney, let's begin with this issuance of the Manila RTC of a precautionary whole departure order against Senator Jinggoy Estrada and 4 others. Walk us through, Attorney, ano po ba talaga ang precautionary whole departure order? How is that different from a typical HDO? And why would the court release one at this stage even while it's still under preliminary investigation?
There's a historical reason for this. If you recall, amazing, more than almost 20 years ago now, in 2010, I think, 15 years ago, President Doria Macapagal Arroyo, former President Doria Macapagal Arroyo, was trying to leave for I think for Europe, if I'm not mistaken, or for the United States, for medical reasons. And because there were cases that were being ready to file against her, then Secretary De Lima of the Department of Justice stopped her from traveling. At the airport, she was already in the airport. Even when there was a temporary restraining order by the Supreme Court for her not to do that. So indeed, they stopped her, and then a few days later, cases were filed against her. So then she could no longer travel. But the Supreme Court ruled that to be illegal and unconstitutional against Secretary De Lima. Secretary De Lima's order because there was no law that allowed Secretary De Lima to do that. So it's in that context that after that case, a law was passed allowing for precautionary whole departure orders. Meaning to say that even if no case has been filed against you, but there is already a process going on in the Department of Justice, in this case, a preliminary investigation already going on, or some kind of process which will lead to a preliminary investigation, because in this case, actually, the preliminary investigation will be done by the Ombudsman, the Office of the Ombudsman. In other words, the case will first be filed in the Office of the Ombudsman, who will then go to the Sandigan Bayan to have a arrest warrant issued, right? Or the whole departure orders to be issued. But since there's no case yet, what the Department of Justice have done here is to ask for a precautionary whole departure orders, which is now allowed under the law. Again, in the time of President Aquino, when they tried to stop Doria Macapagal Arroyo from traveling, the court said that is illegal because there is no law that allows you to stop anyone from traveling. We have a right to travel, by the way. The right to travel is a constitutional right. You cannot stop anyone from traveling unless, and this is what the Constitution says, unless there is a law that allows you to do that. Now there is a law. And so in the case of Senator Estrada and others that might be charged with him, a precautionary whole departure order has been issued.
And by issuing a precautionary whole departure order, attorney, does that indicate that the court now has strong evidence against the respondents?
No, there is no finding of that sort. There's only a granting of a request by the Department of Justice to stop a person from traveling. The person is not being arrested at all. Because there's no charges yet. You cannot be arrested if there are no charges filed against you. So there is no finding of strong evidence at all. It's simply a finding that most likely soon charges will be filed against you.
But the DOJ did say, attorney, that the court found probable cause to believe that the respondents might flee. In this case, at this stage, attorney, how does the court determine if an individual is considered a flight risk? What factors do they usually consider?
Well, they would consider travel history of the person, the means of a person, right? But take note that the probable cause is about flight. It's not about the case. It's not about evidence about the case. But yes, they will look at mainly ability of a person. I would say that Senator Estrada might even be able to contest that because he has quite a big history of travel. Even when he was charged under the during the Napoles scandal, and he was released later on bail, he was still traveling quite a lot, and the court gave him permission to do that. So, I would surmise that he would be able to file a motion for recon and try to appeal this, right? But maybe by the time he does that, a case would have already been filed, because what we know is that soon cases will be filed.
So this is more of a precautionary measure from the court, and here they consider, as you mentioned, attorney, travel history, maybe even resources and the power of an individual. And we're talking about here a sitting senator in Senator Jinggoy Estrada. But there's also a question, attorney, would legislative immunity apply in situations like this?
Of course not. Legislative immunity applies only to arrest when the session is going on, and only for crimes that are punishable by arresto mayor. This is plunder, right? This is non-bailable crime, or this graft and corruption of the level that is non-bailable. But as I said, this is not even an arrest. So yes, it can be issued because there is no arrest yet. And if it's an arrest, it will be for crimes way beyond arresto mayor. So which is a very minor crime. So yes, Senator Estrada will be arrested once the proper charges are filed. There's no immunity for that.
Okay, let's talk about former DPWH Secretary Manny Bonoan. He previously traveled and was allowed to even go to the United States for his wife's medical procedure. And I think there was a soundbite recently where he said that he might be traveling soon again. Can he still ask permission from the court to travel under humanitarian considerations, if ever, attorney?
He will try to, I suppose, right? But there is already this precautionary whole departure order. So I suspect that will no longer be allowed. Because
Okay,
the
so
thing
just
is,
take-
these crimes are not bailable, right? Actually, when you are charged with a crime that is bailable and you get bail, you can travel with the permission of the court.
Okay, so that's the legal aspect of this whole departure or this precautionary whole departure order. But I wanted to take a step back also, attorney. What's your overall assessment of how the flood control investigations are unfolding so far?
I think it's too slow, quite honestly. It's already more than 6 months since President Marcos first started exposing this. I think people are disappointed. No big fish, really. I wouldn't even consider Senator Estrada and Senator Revilla as big fish, or even Senator Villanueva. They're recidivists, right? They were also charged during the time of the Napoles scandal and got away with it. So it's good that they will be charged if there's evidence against them. I think the truly big fish are Senator Escudero, Speaker Martin Romualdez. Saldico is not a big fish at all. And people in Malacañang, the Assistant Persamin, Undersecretary Olivar of the DepEd, contractors close to Malacañang, those are the truly big fish. I think people will be disappointed with what we have so far.
Yes, and I mean, there were expectations that arrests would take place as early as December, but instead, the ombudsman and the prosecutors appear to be taking a more deliberate approach, attorney. Would you say this is a sign of them being cautious and a sign of diligence, or do you think this will eventually risk losing the confidence of the public?
Well, they've already lost the confidence of the public, to be honest. That's why President Marcos' ratings are very bad. Because public has no confidence because of the extent of the corruption under the administration that has been allowed under the administration. He doesn't get any credit for exposing the corruption which happened under his watch, right? So let's be clear about that. With respect to the Department of Justice and of course the Ombudsman, I would give some deference to them because we also don't want cases filed for its own sake, right? That are then dismissed very quickly, or where we do not get guilty verdicts. As we did with the Napoles scam. The Napoles scam did not catch big fish; they all got away scot-free. That's why the people are very disappointed because this is like the Napoles scam all over again.
And we time and again, we always hear our officials saying they will go wherever the evidence leads. But attorney, do you think that there is enough political will to pursue the big fish that you were talking about earlier?
I don't think so. It's clearly not there on the part of the president because these are his allies. These are people close to him, contractors close to him that are, not being pursued. At the same time, hope springs eternal. On February 25, groups will be coming to EDSA, different groups diverging but also uniting in EDSA. I will be with the movement against tyranny in EDSA because corruption, which reached a crescendo during the time of Marcos Sr., has reached another crescendo in the time of Marcos Jr. So that pressure is good because it's the people, right? It's the people that are angry about this that is resulting in these actions that are going on. But so far, it's not enough what we're seeing. And the people see that, again, I tell you, the people see that. The people are disappointed. The people are blaming the Marcos administration for that.
Well, with that said, Attorney, how would you describe the political climate right now and the political outlook for this year, 2026? And how are all of these narratives shaping or aligning as we move closer to 2028?
The political climate is what you would call complicated, right? I mean, with the falling trust ratings and performance ratings of President Marcos, VP Sara being impeached, which I think is quite certain. It's just a political decision to be made, and here Marcos actually needs to show some spine. But conviction by the Senate is far from certain. Without opposition figures that are, rising, independent of Marcos in particular, I think the opposition uniting with Marcos will be a tragedy because that's a sure ticket to lose the elections. So I suppose Marcos will have his own candidate. People say that will be John Vic Remulla. So it's not clear what will happen. I hope there will be an anti-dynasty bill that will be passed that will prohibit Marcoses and Dutertes from running in the 2028 elections. At least they have to make a choice that only one of them can run in 2028. That's very important. I wish charter change will be done so we can fix many of our systemic problems. We are facing with very grave, serious, systemic political problems and economic problems as well, right? But if not, we will close to 2028, and it looks like if nothing big happens, it looks like we will have another Duterte presidency. That complicates things, even as the father, by that time, would have been convicted. I would stake that, convicted in the International Criminal Court. So lots of complications. Senator Bato, Senator Bongo probably will be sent to The Hague alongside with former PNA officials and former Secretary of Justice Aguirre quite soon. All of this depends on the spine of the president, whether he can make the tough decisions to make this country a better place and a safer place.
Well, all right. Just as a final question, speaking of the former president, we're now less than a week away from his confirmation of charges hearing before the ICC on February 23. Do you think it will be an uphill battle for the former president's camp and his defense team to stop this whole case from proceeding to trial, given the multitude of evidence that the prosecution has?
Well, they still have one card, the appeal on the jurisdiction of the ICC. I just can't see that succeeding. Legally, there might be a basis for it, but I cannot see that succeeding given that the evidence against it will be such a big slap on justice, on the demand of justice of the victim. So I think that the charges will be confirmed. I think his co-perpetrators, that's the name for Senator Bato and Senator Go and Secretary Aguirre and other will all be arrested. They'll all be sent to The Hague. The evidence are actually whistleblowers. That's mainly the evidence against them. People in their camp in Davao and in Malacañang that have now spilled the beans on them. So I can see that. And he is fit for trial. I mean, it's very interesting the finding that, he his memory is lapsed in a convenient way. In other words, when he chooses to, he forgets things, right? But he's very sharp. The president is very sharp, very fit for trial. He's not an enfeebled, weak old man. He's very sharp. He's fit for trial. And so the trial will go on. I think it will go on for 2 or 3 years. And that he will be found guilty. And rightly so, because thousands of Filipinos and poor Filipinos died under his watch, under his order actually, under a common plan that these co-perpetrators planned with him in the war against illegal drugs, which was not done to fight illegal drugs, but actually done basically to benefit drug lords and for political purposes only, and not really to defeat drugs in the Philippines.
Well, so many things to watch out for on the international and political front, but for now, we're going to have to keep things there, leave things there. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Political analyst and legal expert, Attorney Tony Viña.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do stay tuned. Morning Matters will be back after this short break. Keep it here. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. Crowds gathered in Binondo, Manila on Monday night to welcome the Chinese New Year. For the countdown, drones lit up the sky with stunning formations symbolizing unity between Filipinos and Chinese, as well as the transition from the year of the wooden snake in 2025 to the year of the fire horse in 2026. A spectacular fireworks display at midnight lasting more than 8 minutes served as the highlight of the celebration. Lion dance performances entertained the crowd, including creative versions by children using improvised materials. Vendors also sold lucky charms such as door hangers and bracelets believed to bring prosperity, safety, and success in business this year. And joining us this morning is Feng Shui expert Jean Yu Chua to share her predictions for the year of the fire horse. Good morning, Jean, and a happy Chinese New Year!
Yes, good morning, Pawi. Happy Chinese New Year po.
Okay, so it's a Chinese New Year today. What can everyone expect during the year of the fire horse in terms of luck and opportunities?
Yes, Year of the Fire Horse now started yesterday's celebration of the Chinese New Year. So we can expect this year is a strong momentum and high energy vibration. No? So everyone are having a good energy. Can be overwhelmed with a lot of opportunities. So that this year you need to be very precise. Now, what is your target goal and what is your planning and strategy for this year, so that you can have the passion, the creation, and also the determination on how you're going to move forward with the momentum of the fire horse.
So this is the year of the fire horse, Gina, no? Pag kinumbine ba yung fire tsaka yung horse, what does that mean in terms of energy?
The year element is fire, and also the self element of the horse is also fire. That's why you can also hear about double fire year, no? So when we say fire, we can say the strong energy of the vitality, the strength, and the passion of the people. So people may become very short temper and very intense then on how searching of opportunity, and also they are very aggressive in terms of decision making. So that's why my advice as a Feng Shui consultant, no, everything you're doing this year, you need to stay calm and pacing yourself and not to be rushing. And also, you think first before you act, no? So the key word also for this year is to have a good communication with the people, because you may easily get into trouble if you feel everything very rushing or very sudden changes.
So kailangan maging introspective ng mga tao this year of the fire horse so that they don't make any rush or harsh decisions, Gina, no? But let's focus on today first before we go to the rest of the year. What are some of your Feng Shui practices that we should follow today, Chinese New Year, February 17, ano? Tama bang naka-red tayo?
Yes, of course. Now, traditionally, Feng Shui way of practicing to welcome the Chinese New Year, no, is wearing the red color. Okay, so regardless of the animal signs, you can wear the red color to enhance the vitality and the good fortune of the year. So you can also welcome the good luck and the vibration of blessings, no? for the fire horse. Every year po yan, no? So don't be confused about the lucky colors of the each animal signs, no? For the each animal sign, we can customize your birthday na based on your lucky, no? But the traditional way, we can still wear the red color to invite the passion, to invite the good energy of the year. And then you can also light an incense stick, no? To say thank you or to have the gratitude energy for the mga past years na mga blessings natin. And another set of 3 incense stick, no, for another year of blessings, no? So depending on what is your target goal or your wishes for this year. And also may mga simple ritual, no? So let's say the preparation of the prosperity basket, no? So the prosperity basket, you have to put the bigas inside the basket to have the good foundation and good blessings of the year. And also you can put 999 pesos of money inside the angpao so that it can serve as the first and strong energy of the year that you can attract good sources of income or good blessings of money. And so the prosperity basket, lalagay niyo po yan sa dining table. And then to welcome with the mga lucky fruits and lucky food, no, in your dining, so that you can attract more blessings of having good food, good quality life for the whole 2026.
So itong prosperity basket, can they still do this? Can people still do this kahit na tapos na yung Chinese New Year's Eve, no? And what's the significance of 999 pesos? Kailangan eksaktong 999.
Yes, of course, because the number 9 number is the most auspicious number in this Feng Shui age, no? So it started on 2024 up to 2044. So it's a 20 years na lucky number po ang number 9. And number 9 is also to signify future prosperity or the current prosperity luck. So meaning it's also a good investment number. Okay, so kaya nagagamit tayo ng number 9 is to give us more stability and more prosperity luck.
Okay, so let's talk about the signs that will have the best year. Usually, may mga top 3 signs na magiging swerte. Sino-sino ba yung mga yon, Jean?
Yes, for the lucky animal sign this year, no, 2026. So get ready for all the animal sign year of the rabbit. Okay, so you have the potential star this year. You have your good luck energy for having good connections, good network, and good career promotion for this 2026. And the second one is mga year of the dog, no? So year of the dog, you have being the ally of the year of the horse. You can get also a good connections and good support from your boss or from your colleagues that you can have a strong vibration of having career promotions or career opportunity that you can have a good positions and good decision making for this 2026. And the third one is the year of the tiger. Okay, so for this year, tiger is also one of the lucky friend of the horse. So you can get the good support, no? For example, you have mga decision making or you want to have new learning skills, no? So you can have a good mentor to guide you and give you more advice, and you can have more good productive projects or deals for this year.
Okay, so rabbit, dog, and tiger. Okay, let's go to the other side naman. I know in Feng Shui, wala naman talagang malas, but who are the signs that will have a rather more challenging year this 2026?
Yes, so for the animal signs that you need to be careful, no, in terms of the cash flow, money, or might be relationship with the people, no. So number 1 is the year of the horse. Even if it's your year, you have to be very aware, no, on your surroundings and be careful on your decision making and also communication with people. Okay, kasi this year, since ikaw po yung the leader of the year, so lagi po kayo nakikita. Okay, so you always having the attention of other people, even the positive or negative judgments against you. You have to be very careful and stay calm. Okay. Yeah, then the second one is mga year of the rat. Okay, so for year of the rat this year, you have to also be attentive, no, and be alert. So on everything that you're doing, in whatever, no. So let's say if you're in a career or you're in a business or you're in a relationship with networking with people, you have to be very very careful, no. So wag tayo masyado magtiwala agad, no. So you have to be attentive of what you're planning for this year. And the third one is yung mga year of the ox, no? Year of the ox, you have to handle well with your emotions and to prevent any temperament issues for this year so that you can avoid any quarrels or violence reactions against you. And for the year of the rooster for this year, okay, you have to be very careful on your relationship again. So, para to prevent any relationship problems or mga legal issues, no? Kaya you have to hold on your patience and your decision making. Huwag tayo masyado nagmamadali. Ayun. So you have also to stay grounded on your plannings and your strategy. And the last one is yung year of the rabbit. You're also involved in the conflict sign, no? Even though you're lucky, earlier na sinabi ko, one of the top one, but somehow meron din kayo konting conflict energy that you need to be very careful. Okay? Ayun. So for the rabbit, careful lang tayo in terms of your health and relationship.
Okay, so horse, rat, ox, rooster, pati rabbit, kailangan mag-ingat this 2026. But in general, Gina, no, in terms of prosperity, what's one feng shui practice that people can do to boost their luck in terms of wealth? And is this the year for high risk and high reward? Kasi nga, alam natin, ang horse, di ba, very dynamic, aggressive. So is this the year to go after big plans and the business ideas na rin?
Yes, so since this year 2026, no, so my advice is to stay grounded and pacing yourself, not into rushing energy or aggressive energy, no, because this year fire horse is lacking of water element, so that's why it can also create some imbalances or some troublesome. Okay, so that's why this year many people may feel tired or easily emotional stress and get temperament. So that's why you have to calming and do not over push yourself or over stimulating, no? So meaning you have to balance everything, your health, your love, your relationship, or your money, career, no? So everything you have to put into a planning para you will not be get lost, no, along the way, and also you will not be exhausted or mentally drained and emotionally imbalanced. So kaya this year, if in order to stay more positively or you want to achieve more success in your career or your money, you have to balance and pacing and very careful tayo sa mga decision making natin.
So kailangan i-balance and i-counter yung fire, yung all the aggression that the year of the fire horse, the energy that the year of the fire horse brings. So does that mean kailangan maybe we can incorporate water elements to our homes to be more calm then, to practice maybe yoga, no, to make sure things are quiet kasi baka nga napakabilis ng nangyayari sa paligid natin.
Yes, that's why you can also incorporate blue colors energy, no? So let's say for wearing a blue color shirt or wearing a blue bracelet, no? So to keep us calm and peace of mind, and at the same time to have a good communication with people, so that you will not create any chaos or any defensive energy or quarrels with the people. Kaya blue color can enhance your wisdom and your knowledge. That's why you can also wear yung mga power bracelet with blue stones, or you can also wear the blue string with pearl, no, to enhance the water energy, so that you can be more in the calming stage of thinking, so that you will not get into any trouble or any dispute or legal issues, no?
Okay, so if our viewers want to reach out to you for a consultation, how can they do that, Jean?
Yes, okay. So you can go to my physical store at Dragon Phoenix Binondo, 807 Ongpin Street, or you can also visit my Green Hill store, Golden Phoenix Feng Shui store in Vira Mall, or you can also contact me online, no, on my social media, Facebook or Instagram, Jean Yu Chua.
All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing all those tips. That was Feng Shui expert Jean Yu Chua.
Yeah, thank you so much. Happy Chinese New Year.
Okay, now don't go away. We still have more matters to discuss right after this break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. Now, debate continues on the proposed anti-political dynasty measure as lawmakers and stakeholders weigh how far the ban should go and who exactly should be covered. Mobile journalist Mary Mon Reyes reports.
Ayaw ka jowa mo pala. Kasi po dito, just present themselves to the public. So kung mag-jowa lang po sila, covered po ba yun? Or they have cohabit or they have to live together before the law will apply to them. Dito po kasi regardless of sexual orientation, ano po kung dalawang Becky.
Pero doon po sa bill ko, kahit hindi po sila kasal ng simbahan o civilly, basta meron silang iisang tahanan at pinakikilala ang sarili nila bilang isang couple, kahit nga hindi po kasal, mako-cover nung ban. Kung originally mga mayor ng magkaibang bayan, pero habang nanunungkulan ay nag-ibigan at naging couple, sa susunod na eleksyon ay mako-cover sila kung cohabiting.
In yesterday's Senate Electoral Reforms Committee's public consultation in Marilao, Bulacan, the formulation of a contra-dynastia law was welcomed by its participants with a few recommendations in mind. From the Pampanga State University School of Law, Attorney J.T. Leonardo Santos mentioned the need for a certification similar to a certificate of non-forum shopping, where hopeful political candidates will be disclosing its relationship with incumbent or running politicians to the COMELEC.
Tapos lagyan po ng penalty kapag hindi po siya nag-disclose kasi hindi siya honest. Pangalawa po, lagyan po natin ng rule ng first to file rule para mag-unahan sila. Paano po kung sabay-sabay sila nag-file? Sino po ang ipe-prefer ng COMELEC? Maguguluhan po kasi yung relationship.
Law students, student councils, coalitions, and civil society organizations took to the forum how disappointing it was that the youth have been the ones pursuing clean governance when the elders in the field should have been role models. According to the Model SK Network, the scope of the contra-dynastia law should also extend to the fourth civil degree of consanguinity and affinity.
Dahil po tayo sa Pilipinas, we are a family-centric country. Most of the household nga po, di ba? Extended family. Kasama natin mga lolo natin, lola natin, pamangkin, tito, tita. So, hindi po malayo. Dagdag pa po rito, masyado po tayong nagpapaniwala sa away kunyari ng mga pamilya. Na para bang nagiging teleserye na po yung politika.
Several others asked for assurance on the effectivity of the much-awaited law, as well as the protection of institutions who hope to take a stand against political abuse. Director Temi Lambino of the Commission on Elections also took note that the anti-political dynasty law will not negatively impact the transition of governance as long as there is an established policy on how to properly serve the public.
Ano din po titiyakin na mananatiling ligtas na ang espasyo ng demokratikong partisipasyon ang mga institusyong pang-edukasyon at hindi maging extension ng political machinery. We cannot further risk our futures for the few good dynasties na sinasabi po ng iba.
Yung political ang problema, hindi yung services. As long as we have well-entrenched procedure on how to serve the people, on how services would go to the people, then we wouldn't be worrying about transition. We wouldn't be worrying about kung sino ang uupo.
In addition, Angeles City Vice Mayor Amos Rivera suggested that qualifications to running for public office be amended. Aside from just having the capacity to read and write, he sees that in order to have competent and qualified officials, increasing the literacy requirement should be looked into. A political candidate's campaign expenses, he says, should also be strictly limited to level the playing field and their moral compass.
And naturally, bilang tao, pag-upo po niya na magiging 3 years na mindset po yan kung paano niya babawiin yung nagastos kaysa dun sa 3 years na kung paano siya maglilingkod.
So far, the last consultative meeting will be done on February 19 in Cagayan de Oro City in Misamis Oriental. After that, forums may follow. Senator Rita Hontiveros remains optimistic that the upper chamber will be able to pass its contra-dynastia law by late March this year. Kapatid Mobile journalist Mary Mon Reyes, we are One News.
President Bongbong Marcos inspected model housing units under the National Housing Program for Filipinos, or 4PH, during the 7th anniversary of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development in Taytay, Rizal. The administration is utilizing precast technology to expedite construction. Concrete components are manufactured in plants and then assembled on-site, allowing faster and more efficient building of housing units. The president also emphasized the government's plan to expand precast plants nationwide to meet the growing demand for homes. Since 2022, the government has constructed 423,000 housing units, and reforms in the Pag-ibig Fund have made housing loans more accessible, providing more families with the opportunity to own their own homes. And here are the stories to watch out for in sports. Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala advances to the round of 32 of the Dubai Tennis Championships after defeating American Hailey Baptist, who retired early in the round of 64 match. Ayala will next face Italy's Jasmine Paolini as she looks to continue her campaign in the prestigious WTA tournament. Meanwhile, in the PVL All-Filipino Conference, a marquee showdown headlines today's games at the Playtime Phil Oil Center in San Juan. Creamline takes on Zeus Coffee, with both teams aiming to sustain their momentum and boost their semifinal chances in the tightly contested tournament. And the Department of Public Works and Highways is accelerating repairs on the Maharlika Highway in EDSA ahead of Holy Week. To ensure smoother travel, the agency plans to remove obstructions and apply temporary patches on damaged areas. Sidewalk repairs on EDSA are scheduled to start in July, while full road rehabilitation is expected to be completed by May. Secretary Vince Dizon apologized in advance to motorists for any inconvenience caused by the intensified repair operations. The DPWH will also request a 24/7 work permit from the MMDA to continue EDSA rehabilitation during the Holy Week.
Hihingi lang ako ng paumanhin sa mga kababayan nating gumagamit ng Maharlika Highway ngayon. Kasi talagang pinapaspasan natin ang lahat ng repairs now. Kasi we are preparing for the Holy Week. Talagang full blast tayo nagre-repair sa Maharlika ngayon. Lalo-lalo na sa Quezon, sa Bicol, sa Samar.
And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you just the right start to your morning. Let's make the day matter, and happy Chinese New Year. I'm Pauline Verzosa. Kapatid, we are one news, all sides, all the time.